Hey y'all, and welcome back to Great Reviews It All. Today I'm going to be discussing Sistas. I did not take notes on this one, so I'm just going off of what I recall. I think I watched it on Wednesday night when it premiered. I can't remember, but whatever the case, I did look at it. Okay, so with this episode, they pretty much picked up from Zach busting in, not kicking in, but busting in the door of his baby mother's home because he overheard his son screaming more than once. It's happened more than once. So he goes in, he starts beating up the guy, and then the guy was somehow able to how did this happen? No, okay, so the guy that Zach was beating him up, then his friends, I guess, I don't know if they heard the commotion, something happened, I don't know. However, the case, two more guys came in the door, brushed past Fatima, and proceeded to jump Zach. So they all had him on the ground, beating him up. So at this point, Fatima pulls her gun out and she, kind of does a warning shot, and that kind of gets everybody's attention, and she gets them off of that, gets them over to the side, and they looking at her crazy, looking at her weird, just like they the bad tough guys, like, okay, yeah, but dude, you was losing, you do know that before your friends got there. So what does it say about you? I mean, you can't hold your own, right? Okay. So Fatima's talking her ish, you know what I'm saying? And she's just like, asking, do you know who I am? All of that kind of stuff. Asking them to roll their sleeves up. And I guess that's when she realized that they are part of a certain gang, which just so happens to, and I already knew, I was like, watch, they are going to know who Madam is. Because that's who she's finna get on the phone and call because she's got a problem and she needs some help. So Fatima's like, okay. So she stands there, she makes the phone call, says what she needs to say, done deal, hangs up the phone. Next thing you know, while she's checking on Zach and the child, one of the guys who was there, he gets a phone call and she's like, you need to answer the phone. So he answers, and while she's over there, getting them situated, checking on them, he's on the phone being told something. Next thing you know, hangs up, and then they're just like, their whole everything just changed. You know what I'm saying? It's more so of a like, oh my, my bad, something to that nature. And she's like, oh, I'm not the one you need to be apologizing to. And they all leave out, right? And I'm like, here we go. See, this is the Fatima that we need to see. Okay, we need this Fatima. As they're leaving, they leave out. The neighbor lady, she's down there. She's like, did you guys hear a gunshot? Of course, they're not going to be like, yeah, I did. I shot. They're like, no, we didn't hear anything. She's like, I know a gunshot when I hear one. I'm like, well, why did you ask if you know that that's what you heard? She was like, I already called the police. And so they're like, we need to get out of here. Well, Zach's saying that, but Fatima's just standing around, and Zach's like, what are you looking for? So she's waiting for someone to get there. Once it's a big old group of guys arrive with beds, all kind of stuff, they pull up, and then they proceed to go upstairs. And when she saw that, she was like, okay, we need to go. And Zach's looking around like, what's happening right now? But I think in his mind, he's like, at this point, I need to get off from over here. She already said she didn't call the police, but then in the same breath gonna say that, but they're not gonna come over here. Okay. So that happens. They're driving off. Fatima's in the back with the little boy. Zach's driving, and they stop. She gets in the front seat, and she's just like, Zach, like, he smells terrible. And he's like, I know, this, just feeling just terrible, feeling bad, and I can totally understand why. It's just a very sad situation, you know what I'm saying? So he basically asking her, like, Fatima, what was that? And she's like, what was what? As she always do, she's gonna act like, nothing is nothing. And she's like, oh, I hate to call my family for favors, but in this particular case, it is what it is. He's like, okay, well, what's gonna happen to us guys? She's like, to be honest with you, I don't know. Do you really want to know? Like, we don't really want to know what's gonna happen to them. I'm just like, boy, she done told you about her auntie. You ain't obviously he has not met her yet. When she came to the house, and I think this happened on Sistas. I think it did happen on Sisters, because Andi was there. I think that happened on Sisters. Excuse me, y'all. Regardless, he has not met her just yet. But little things have been happening. He's just like, question like, dang, okay, who is this girl's family? Like, who is she related to? But, sir, you just best know when she say don't play with me, she really, really means that. Really, really means it. So that's that. Now, he drops it because at this point you don't need to keep on asking questions. It just is what it's gonna be. Now, not a whole lot really happened with this episode. Honestly, the biggest thing for me was that particular scene, and then the other thing that happened was Danny, Sabrina, and Andy somehow ended up on a group date, kind of, sort of, and it sucks because Danny, you are supposed to be with Preston, and you said that y'all are actually saying that y'all are girlfriend and boyfriends, and yet you essentially, not on purpose, but you ended up going on a group date with a whole nother man. And I guarantee you, he is not going to be okay with it. We are going to have to see what's going to happen. I thought it was really cute. It was refreshing to get some kind of happier side of things, of the girls going on a date with a new person. You know what I'm saying? Because the relationships that they have been dealing with, it just is not really going anywhere. So they really need to make a decision to make an understanding of what those relationships with those other guys are going to be, i.e. Gary. I'm talking about Gary. I'm talking about Preston. I'm talking about the other guy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That boy. They need to make a decision what those relationships are going to look like with those guys, and it would be refreshing to see them in something new. So hopefully this new string of guys that are being brought into the fold, this is going to be something new for us to see and exciting to see what develops there. I think it's pretty freaking cool how they are all friends. They seem to have good heads on their shoulders. But we're going to have to really see what's going to happen with that. I'm not going to get my hopes up, and hopefully the girls just accept that particular night for what it was, which was just one drama-free, cool night, and just let it be that, right? Okay. The whole thing about them trying to get them to go take a ride on the bus or whatever, I feel like that was their way of being able to still hang out with the girls and kind of extend the night. Make Andi a little bit more comfortable by having her friends there, and then not be so weird because his friends are there as well to entertain them while he tries to get to know Andi a little bit more. Thought that was pretty cool. Now, me getting on the bus, I probably wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, been there, did that, not trying to just getting on the bus, riding the bus for fun. I'm not into that. But Andi, she went for it. At the end of the night, at the end of the bus ride, and I was right there with Andi on that one. They was like, oh, is it enough to fit all us? No. Y'all are grown men. Find your own ride home. Okay? Because at this point, the three of us, we are separating at this point of the night, and we are going our way. It almost made me question, like, okay, do y'all don't have no money or something? Y'all don't have your own vehicles? Do you know? What is it? But we're going to see. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. Danny admitted to having a really good time. That is going to be like, ooh, cringy, because we're going to have to see if that is going to become an issue with this guy that she met who's pursuing her. And then what's going to happen with Preston. I wouldn't say immediately start treating Preston any kind of way. You decided that you wanted to be in a full-fledged relationship and see where it goes. You need to give that a chance. If it does not work out, you can say that you tried, but you need to be honest with the other guy and say, hey, I'm in something right now. However, if that relationship does not work out, I have no problem with reaching out to you if you are still free, and maybe we can go on a date at that particular time. But as of right now, it would be very rude of her to still somewhat be meeting up with this man, even in a group setting of that nature, because you basically are kind of somehow still going on a date with another man. Just saying. And I'm pretty sure Preston would not be okay with that, and you wouldn't be okay with it if he did the same thing to you. So it's not okay. Other than that, that was all I was really getting out of the episode. Karen is still being Karen. We do know at the end they left us hanging. She needed to go to the grocery store because she didn't have any food in the pantry or anything. So she ended up running into Zach, Fatima, and his son at the grocery store. So we are gonna have to see what happens with that, because there are definitely gonna be words, and it looks like Zach's gonna flip the script on her tail because he's sick of it. All right. So yeah. So other than that, I mean, let me know what y'all thought. Like I said, the episode, it didn't really have much going on. It was okay. It was okay. Maybe the next episode I have a little bit more going on. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All righty. Well, thank y'all for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back next week with another video. Bye, y'all.